Hi HCGers, HCG Berry Babe, checking in and giving you an update. I was up today. I was perfect for me. Perfect for my points. Had 100 points yesterday. Um, I did end up doing a supplemental protein in the middle of the night. I was up. I was awake all night. I wasn't up. I was awake. I exhausted the queue of logs, which there weren't very many for last night. There are right now, but not for last night. And I was listening to the UCTV doctors give lectures on I don't even remember about being fat and the sugar center in the brain and that sort of thing, why sugar's addictive and how sugar is like alcohol, those kinds of things. Because the ADHD, I need something running, and my TV controls are still missing. I haven't gone digging for them yet, and I might have gotten 40 winks, like this much, 40. And I set my alarm for just before 5 o'clock. And I set it, I also went in, I was using my iPhone, and I went in and I said every Wednesday too. Well, I should have said every Tuesday, every Wednesday, because it didn't go off this morning. And I'm laying there thinking, 3 minutes. And then I'm thinking, that 3 minutes lasted an awful long time, and it was 6 minutes later. So if I had not been awake, I'd have just slept right through it, which, believe me, I've done monumental stupid things like that before. When I was in college, I was able to be in a special teaching program where they, even your freshman year, first day, they picked you up and took you to a real school, and you started having teacher experiences. And I missed the taxi. My clock was a wind up and it didn't work. Now I had a therapist for a while who was a Freudian therapist, psychoanalysis, and she would put all sorts of big karmic I had intentions. I didn't want to do it anyway. Well, did I really want to go out to the skill center today? No. Would I have preferred to stay in bed? Yes. Would I have sabotaged myself, even unconsciously, with the alarm? I don't think so. It's just duh me. So I was 161.7 today, and the question of whether or not I was going to do an LDW today was moot because I did morning pellets, I think, on the way to school. I think. I'm not sure. And then I forgot them all day. And so this will be day 1, and then tomorrow will be day 2. Then I'll eat on Thanksgiving, and I'm going to try really hard then to get back on the pellets for the next day. One of the books I had said load during the day and then do the pellets at night, and that's enough. So whether I can do pellets Thanksgiving night and get back on track, I don't know. But my day at the Skill Center. My first day, I had been teaching middle school, actually grades 4 through 8. My last year was strictly reading. I had done 1 year, the year before that, K through 3, all subjects, but mostly it's been junior high. And the thought of going high school level, 30 kids in a room not wanting to listen, it's like, I don't want to do that. But the Skill Center Automotive, the room, it was a little small classroom at the back of a shop. I did not have to do anything with motors or wrenches. The teacher had left kind of make work to do, read 3 articles out of a car magazine and write it half a page. And many of the kids knew it was busy work and refused to do it. They just didn't do it. Now, my suspicion is that many of these kids were very ADHD, and because they couldn't see any purpose to it, couldn't put any energy behind it. That's one of the things. But knowing that the reading level of a lot of the kids was probably not up to the standard of some of those magazines, every hour I offered to read out loud, and I said, I can read it, you can write it as I'm reading, and we'll be good to go, because they had a movie they could watch afterward. And toward the end of the first hour, one of the fellows did let me read to him individually. Because I had said those that are doing it have to do it before I'll put the movie in. And the movie had Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman rolling around in the sheets and all kinds of effing this and son of a bitch that. And I thought, I'm not in middle school anymore. Most of the kids in the room were 18 or older, and they're juniors and seniors in high school. And if they're in the mechanics program, it's very possible that there's been some retention along the way, because the kids that tend to go into automotive are the ones that needs hands-on, that struggle with the academics. That's why they're not on academic track. So first hour went okay, and second hour was sweet. They're a small group, and they're there for 2.5 hours, and or a little more. And they come from schools all over the county, and they arrive at different times, and they leave at different times. It must be nuts trying to give a formal lesson to these kids. But the middle group, the one kid said, I'll take the reading option, and it had made some comment about hard for him to read to somebody else. And they ended up buddying up, and I said, well, it's up to what your teacher will accept. But I didn't have a problem with it as long as each of the partners did writing. Then there was the third group, the end of the day group, the group that's used all its energy dealing with whatever, and they come in and it's a sub, and it's an old lady sub. It's not a fat old lady sub, but it's an old lady sub. And they started out just a little bit in a playful mood with each other. They really had no use for me. So I came in like a bitch. What we will do and what we won't do. And my bottom line was, we had a movie to watch, but we had to give the opportunity for the people who were going to do the assignment to have a quiet room while they worked. And that was my bottom line. I didn't care if the ones that weren't going to work talked, but they would not be a disruption to the other ones. So the kids that were working, all except one of them, tended to sit up toward the front. And I kind of kept an eye out to see, and the table at the back never got loud enough, with some reminding that the front table didn't get finished, didn't get to work. But there was one young man, very tall young man, who had proceeded to, he was with the group at the back, off to the side, and he had taken chairs and made a bed out of 2 chairs, and so he was laying down. I didn't care. So you do special ed long enough, you don't care. You're not going to fight over little things. So I look over, and his arm is straight up in the air, and he's flipping the bird to somebody. Not me. He's not listening and paying attention to me. I'm not talking. He's just flipping off one of his buddies. So he got to sit, there was a glass wall with all the machines on the other side, and he got to sit up against the glass where I could see him in the chair on the other side, segregated. And I said to him, I don't want to see you engaging the people that are in here. So he was, this was an almost 2.5, this is a 2.5 hour thing. And after some time I went out and I said, if I wrote this up, that I saw you give the finger to another student and send it to the office, would there be severe consequences? He said, probably. I said, then this is the deal. This is what your punishment is. So he didn't like it, but he wasn't nasty about it. So time goes on, and there had been this kind of scruffy-looking kid who'd been turned around at the back table, and there were only 2 girls in the class. One sat quietly and just watched, and the other one was ringleader. All the boys were like around her. And this kid had been turned around to her. And they're just doing their thing, and I look up, and he's got the finger waving at somebody. And this is one of the reasons that I think my other principal didn't like me, because my ADHD self yells across the room, "Hey, finger man!" get your chair and get on the other side of the wall. And he's like, ah, gee. So he drags a chair over to the other side of the wall. Now, there were two of them over there now, and I didn't care. You know, they could keep each other company. But then I look back, and a couple of the boys at the back are kind of making gestures with their hands. And I said, and I better not be seeing any random fingers flying. Don't give me the opportunity to think I might be seeing the wrong finger up. And they're like, well, we're not doing anything. I says, yeah, I know about read between the lines, isn't it? I don't know. There's something, I don't even, it's been so long. There's something you do where you put up three fingers and then you say read between the lines or something. And then I said, there's probably some that you know that I don't know yet, but don't even go there. So they kind of got a kick out of that, and we made it to the end of the day. But I was exhausted, having had no sleep at all. And you know, on nights where I haven't slept, then, you know, 5 or 6 in the morning, I'm finally falling asleep, and then I'm awake. I'm sleeping till 11 or 12, and here I was working. So fortunately, physically, there was no demand except sitting, and I didn't take my butt cushion. And my butt's so bony, I did take my little footstool. So tomorrow I'll make sure I'll take a cushion because I get to watch NASCAR movie 3 times tomorrow. The teacher said a lot of kids probably wouldn't come, and even though a lot of them got pulled out of the class today to have to deal with the fact that they were absent so much, a lot of them aren't planning on coming to school. So it'll be an easy day, but it's like, you know, I don't know if you ever babysat when you were young, when they were sleeping. It was like boring. You were putting in your time, like, okay, I got 50 cents an hour when I was a kid. It's like, okay, 3 hours, that's 50, $1, $1.50. You know, what time? How long do I have to stay here to get? And I think the rate is $75 a day, but by the time they take all their crap out of it, you know. And it takes me a long time to get over there because I can't drive my car on the freeway, and we had black ice this morning, and I locked myself out of the house without my keys. Oh, it was not a fun time. So tonight they're having this birthday party for the retirement group. The group from the front of the court where my husband worked that has retired gets together twice a year, and they're doing a birthday party for one of the fellows, and I wanted to go. But I just came home and collapsed, and I slept for a little bit. I mean, I plugged in some vlogs, and I just literally passed out. And my sister called and woke me up, and Rick had come in to check to see if I was going to go to the party, and we decided that since I have to be at the Skill Center across town by 7 o'clock tomorrow morning, probably better if I don't go out tonight, because I thought it'd be too bad if I do a crash. I wouldn't have to drive, but I wanted to do a crash and burn, and he may never ever in this lifetime see this man again, and he really did enjoy this man's company, and it'll be quite a party if he's feeling up to it. He has cancer, and so they weren't even sure when they planned this 2 months ago. It's a surprise birthday party, if he would even still be alive. So I was not able to get in on my water, and I think this is going to be a problem. I was plugged, although that has since been relieved. And actually I was relieved that I was plugged because I didn't have to do it at school. Too much information. But that restaurant has wonderful food, and takeout, that could be an issue. So I'm doing okay. I'm on countdown for Thanksgiving. I don't know if I'm going to make it to the 159.9s, but I'm doing okay. So that's all for now. Bye-bye.